So as I've grown older, I've noticed something that I used to do and that I see other people doing quite regularly, which I thought it'd make a good discussion. So when I was younger, I was very, how can I say, shy, because I was not confident at all, not one bit. I was so shy, it was unbelievable. To try and hide away my lack of confidence and my shyness, I used to put on a front, and this front was a screw face. Like 24/7, I would screw face people just because I didn't want to talk to him, or I felt shy, or I didn't have the confidence to talk to him. So what my screw face did for me is it made me come across like a rude, arrogant, aggressive person, which I was none of those. Like anybody that knew me well knew that if I could help you, I'd help you, you know, and I'd joke and so on and so forth. But this screw face, it served as a barrier for me and people that I didn't know, or me and people to talk about my emotions. And as I've got older, I've already said that I'd noticed that it was just a front, like that wasn't the real me, because I was worried on how people would take me. Like, would they like me, would they not like me? And it goes back to the mindset that I had. I'd rather people not like me than me try and be liked and then them not like me, because they're not liking me because I'm myself, not because of this front that I'm putting on. So you know, I changed and now I'm just me. A lot of people don't like me. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to shed a tear. I'm not going to stay up at night cuddling my pillow because of him. Because at the end of the day, you know, if it was everyone's cup of tea, then you'd be a mug. Back to my point, I still see a lot of people putting on these fronts, and don't waste energy putting on this front. Use the energy to find who you are, because it doesn't matter if people like you or not. You've just got to be yourself. That's the person who you can be. Because putting on this front, you know, it will do things to you mentally. It will drain you, you know. I don't want to compare the front to a barrier, such as someone that's been hurt and don't want to get hurt again. I feel that's a totally different thing. I'm talking about physical faces that you put on. So a female might say she's got a resting bitch face. And what does that indicate? Well, that if you say something out of place to them, they might get a bit angry at you and start shouting back, or they might be a bit rude, yada yada. But just look at yourself. Like when you're pulling that face, because obviously you don't see that face. You'll never see the face. Like when I used to screw face people, I never see that face, because when I'm looking in the mirror, that's not the face I see. I see my normal face. So when you're looking in the mirror, look at that person, yeah, that is you. And then do the face that you put on to try and warn off people. Put your guard up. Put that face on that you give to strangers you don't know, or people that you don't want to talk to. And that's the person that they see when they look at you. Differentiate yourself from the two. You don't need this front. People will like you or hate you no matter what you do, with a front, without a front. You need to develop yourself and understand that this is the way people think. And if people like you, they'll want to be around you. And if people don't like you, they won't want to be around you. Just don't put on that impression that you're a horrible person, because deep down inside, I don't think many people are that horrible or nasty. I just think that you put this front on to try and scare people away, or to try and cover up issues that are wrong with you, as I did. And I'll happily talk about anything now, because I took the steps to try and work out why I was how I was. And since I've worked all that out, I am me, and I can be myself now. I'm not too fussed about what other people think of me. But I think it was the rejection of people not liking me for who I was that drove me to put on this aggressive persona. And the fact that people, when they got to know me, they say, oh, I didn't think you was like that, or you wasn't like that back then. And that's because I didn't know who I was then, you know. And I do understand that you only get one chance with people, and there's people that saw me back then wouldn't give me the chance now because they saw the person that I was. But that wasn't even really me, you know. And I think it's sad that people judge straight away, and people do change. This is why I've got time for people that have changed over the years. So I might have saw them back in the day. I'll still give them a shout, like even if they were a bit weird or they were a bit rude or whatever. I'll still give them a shout because I understand fully that people can change, and I've done that. But the key to it is, before we go off course too much, is take time to understand the real you, to know who you are. And once you know who you are, embrace that. The people that love you will embrace that. People that don't want to be around you won't want to be around you regardless. It doesn't matter if you put on this guard or you put this front up. Just be yourself, and if people like you, they like you, and if they don't, they don't. And if you get hurt, you get hurt. These things will happen, but they will happen whether or not you've got that guard up. So just don't waste your time emitting this negative persona or this certain way of view which is not true. Just be yourself, be happy and be kind.